Hey everybody, it's Bust, continuing our playthrough of the Path of Champions. Today, we're going to be playing Lux up against Galio, the big 3.5-star quest against the Colossus. And so, in terms of our Lux, she is up to 3 stars. We have the fully powered Lux. In terms of the star powers, if you're not familiar with that, you get +1 starting mana. When you play a 6th cost spell, you get a free Golden Aegis in your hand. And then each round, the first time you play a spell, you refill mana equal to its cost. And so your first spell is kind of free. You get a bonus mana, and then we tend to close out all of our games with this big collection of golden Aegises. In terms of our champion level, she is up to level 13. That gets us 2 relics, and for the 2 relics, I'm playing Stalker's Blade. Lux tends to be a little bit slow. She takes a bit of time to get rolling. So I do like having access to this kind of smaller strike, smaller damage source, if you will. And then Lost Chapter to refill your spell mana after she's played. Ideally, that gets you in a space to where you can start chaining off more spells. So, with all of that in line, queue up the Galio, give him a good click, start the adventure. We'll have to see what turns up. I tend to like the old kind of standbys in terms of Lux. I like the cards that let us cheat on our mana, but you do have to kind of watch on cheating with your mana. You don't want your 6th cost spells dropping down to 5 mana. Otherwise, I don't really search out any super high-powered ones here. What are these? Oh my gosh, we hit a legendary. Let's shuffle 10 level 2 champions into your deck. They cost 1 less. That's pretty strong, I guess. I was immediately just drawn to Nature's Revenge over here on the right. Like, it's fine. It's nothing special in this style of deck, but I guess if we're getting legendaries, we're getting legendaries. Let's take it into battle. And on our way to the Dauntless Vanguard. If you're not familiar at round end, one of the player's units dies, then the opposing player gets a Dauntless Vanguard. So if we lose units, our opponent gets a Dauntless Vanguard at the end of the turn. Don't kill my units, please, bruh. Just don't do it. Looks like we got a level 2 Hecarim in our deck right now. He's not that bad, but I think we can go ahead and get rid of him. I'm going to hang on to our cheaper plays and then just try and get on board. This opponent is very good at just flooding the board with 3/3s, and so we have to kind of take watch here in the early game. But as far as this is concerned, the Bright Steel is always just good enough, and then we're going to try and get away with next turn without having to play a card. If we don't have to play a card next turn, then we can start getting off our 6th cost spells with the Remembrance. The Remembrance is kind of free, and then we can follow it up with more things after that. We'll see if that plays out. We might just end up banking 1 mana here if he starts to get scary. So far, he hasn't. Okay, well, at least we don't take damage on this board. All right, let's remember the fallen with our remembrance here. Get our golden Aegis. What'd we get? Heavy infantry, good stuff. Don't need to worry about this board too hard right now. I'm leaning towards just dropping the Vanguard Sergeant to picking up the 4 Demacia. We can't chain off anything big with it next turn, but I'm kind of more... It's like I'm kind of interested in playing the Lux next turn, just because she has barrier, but if we take that line, then we probably just want to play the Bright Steel this turn. Bring in the squad. Okay, not a bad collection of damages to get in there. Then we don't lose any units, so he doesn't get anything. And then now we can drop this Lux with the barrier. Do we ever want to just go for the Golden Aegis? I'm kind of interested in both of these, actually, but... whatever. Whatever. Maybe we will protect our Bright Steel just to keep him from getting a... the kill on our unit. Okay. That was interesting. I didn't realize the Lux ability worked like that. We spent real mana, and then that got converted into spell mana. So decent chance we just end the game on our open next turn. You have no alibi. Got a pretty big squad ready for battle. Give him a cupcake. Alright, GG. Never give up. That's right, Lux. Man, it is kind of awkward shuffling all those champions into our deck. It does really like increase the power level, but we're gonna have to be on the lookout for just like expensive spells because they're kind of lacking in our current state. I don't hate this River Shaper with the strike to draw a spell. But this Vial is so big. Okay, fine. Let's see if we can't find someone to complement what we're doing. Not a great set. The only one I would consider here is Yasuo, and that's only for the Concussive Palm. I think this is going to be a reroll. Looking for something just a little bit more on theme. I don't hate Bard. He has an expensive spell. It's not a 6-cost spell, but it does give us some interaction. And then these stats are pretty big. What's this? Draw me if not an opening hand? That's not that bad. Like, I don't think we ever need things like Viego and Ice of Hydrovine just because our units are so, like, good. We already have all the good units we could ever need. I think we're just go with the Bard. Okay, okay. It's not a bad champion as well to start just, like, stacking more copies up into your deck. And so maybe that'll turn out to be a thing. Slotbot lets you buy rerolls. I'm not super interested in that, so we'll battle the Sneaky Zeebles. When the foe summons a unit, grant its keywords to the previous unit the foe summoned. So little mini Zoe, if you will. Okay, so starting off with a Yuumi, I guess. That's just what our deck's doing. She doesn't seem super impressive here, but we do have a reasonable curve to where we play a Bright Steel on 2, and then on turn 3 we play a Conservator plus a Yuumi. She's not really doing much of the spell thing. Oh, the free Kennen. he's got spells, but they don't they don't do nearly as much. I think I still want to go with the Bright Steel. Not just don't straight up lose our unit to this turn 1 hook. Wow, that's a bold move, Sneaky Zeebles. Just throwing the unit right away. Guess we should have hung on to that mark. I'm not super used to having flipped cannons on the board. And we could have had a second mark this turn since we'll be attacking. Alright, well, Yuumi coming in with this mountain of stats. Looking like a pretty good attack here. Okay. Okay, we're getting there. With our 4 mana, it's like I can't bring myself just to play Bard. We've got this gigantic Taric now. Okay, we're looking pretty strong. Zeeble stun anything? Ooh, gets 2 units. Not bad. So this attack is certainly good with our big unit. Happy enough to just put Yuumi back in our hand. I think we're looking to just attack with everyone. I mean, maybe we put... Well, the tough on the 8-4 isn't going to do anything.
Honor guide me. My cause is righteous. Never submit.
Oh, we do just get 2 Mark of the Storms. I'm not really familiar with this interaction with Kennen. Summoned, blocked, or attacked. So he attacks and gets 1, blocks and gets 1, and then he can just stun out the White Flame Protector now if he wants. It's kind of interesting. Might as well just do it, right? Oh man, Tarek has invulnerables. I forgot about that. It's so hard for me to get in the mindset that our units are level 2 right at the get-go. So unfortunately, we're going to take a 10 hit of elusive here, but then we should be able to end the game right away next turn. 12 hit of elusive, my bad. Okay, so something like this. Wish we would have put that Yumi somewhere else just so we could have got the additional damage in, but that worked out okay. Didn't have any interactivity for us.
These gems aren't just for show.
Don't talk about gems, Tarek. We took an extra 2 damage. Okay, so I'm kind of interested in this Flash of Brilliance. It works quite nicely with the Lux abilities. It should, if I'm thinking correctly, if we play it, it should just gain us 3 mana, right? If it's the first spell we play, we'll get the 3 mana back, and then this thing refills spell mana. So I think we'll get 3 regular mana, 3 spell mana, because Lux refills actual mana. So I think this is just going to be absolutely fantastic in our deck. Our deck is a little odd, but I think it'll be good. Then here, I think I just want to take the 6-cost spell and redoubled Valor. I could see an argument for picking up Sharp Sights, but you don't have to worry about too many elusives after the Sneaky Zeebles. I could see also picking up like Quicksand, just as it's we have like a fearsome round coming up, and then we have to deal with Viego in a bit, and so it has some uses, but I still want to make sure we pick up some of these expensive spells, and Redoubled Valor is actually a pretty serious game closer with all the rallies that we have. Here, I'm going to play it a little dangerously. I'm going to cut out the Mage Seeker Insiders. I really don't like having this card in our deck. It's just a little bit too clunky, and I think we're good in terms of units since we have so many champions at this point. So that one's going to get the cut. And now we're going to run into battle against Zoe. Make us regret not picking up that Quicksand. Okay, that's a lot of champions right at the outset. We'll get rid of the Redoubled Valor. I mean, okay. It's tough to pass up on these treats. Even a Bird for good measure. It's a tough day for Bird. I mean, he's out here expecting to do great things on the early turns of the game, and then it turns out we've just got this massive champion draw. It's not his day. Okay. I'm leaning towards just dropping Kindred. Her ability is so ultra powerful here, and it really forces our opponent into combat early. So if he's like Herder, I'm going to block with the Gift Giver, then it really puts a damper on what they're trying to do. Would be nice to bank the spell mana here, but I think Kindred's probably just a little too good. Even in the face of this Trouble Bubble he's dropping. If he comes down and tries to block something, we should still potentially get a kill on Zoe. You blocking? Nice. Okay, free up some space in the old hand here. We're gonna load up with double spinning axes across the board, and I don't really want to be overdrawing. If we're gonna be real, we're never gonna play Bird, and we're never gonna play Bard. So, just free up a little space.
Pledge yourself to the shadow. Why
Okay, we can go pretty massive here by taking a Felios and then putting the moon weapon onto Zed, and then Zed getting the living shadow to copy it over. I don't think we need to like worry about that too much. Kind of leaning towards actually we should probably just not play a Felios this turn, right? And then we can go into next turn play Remembrance. And then after Remembrance we can play a Felios and see if we want to dabble with a particular moon weapon then.
This is gonna hurt for you.
I don't know what you're doing, Zoe, but it's not working. It's not working. But see, this is what I was talking about, right? Where we're getting stacked up. We have 4 spinning axes. Let's just get rid of Bard. We're never going to use him. There's the golden Aegis everyone was looking for. Now we should be pretty locked and loaded here. Doesn't seem like opponent really has anything to do here. So let's just get the KO. Not a bad way to end a game. You should have tried a little harder, Zoe. You should have tried a little harder.
Watch and learn.
Plus 10 for us, neg 34 for opponent. Good job, Bust. Get to take down. It's okay to say nice job for yourself. Don't feel like you can't do that. It's all right to feel good about yourself. So let's see what we get here. This is like the odd one, right? In that adding bards to our deck is kind of nice just to get the additional chime generation, but all of our build around capabilities are centered on Lux. But we did just like hamstring Lux right from the start, as we said, hey, we're going to shuffle 10 non-spells into our spells-based deck. And so it's a little challenging, but we're most certainly going to be taking mana deposit here when I'm summoned, refill your mana equal to my cost, just making these champions free at that point. And like I can't imagine we wouldn't like want the Lux, but how much do these chimes really matter? I think that the answer to that is just not very much. And so we'll pick up the Lux here and still look to build up the spells theme a little bit. Okay, what do we got here? Created cards cost 1 less, not super interested in, then these other 2 are weak. Let's give this a... Well, actually... Do all of our level 2 champions count as created cards? I'm not entirely sure how that interaction works. And so if we're getting to play all of those like created champions, like if we get to play Draven Zed on turn 1, then that's a pretty big deal. But if that's not how it works, I don't think we have any created cards. Like it is kind of a bummer for your Vanguard Sergeants for Demacia to cost 5 mana. It doesn't work with Lux anymore. The other 6s we have don't matter. Alright, I'm going to roll it. Overwhelm is extremely good here. We have a ton of stats coming out of our champions, and so getting those big, overwhelming reroll, or overwhelming multiple attacks, it's a pretty big deal. I'm going to run into the spells chest, I believe. Do battle with the Targon's Peak. Alright. Alright. Maybe we'll just start with like a level 2 Galio in our hand. Pantheon doesn't really do much here, but let's at least... Well, this does like... Yeah, we just get rid of the Pantheon, right? And then if Targon's Peak is going to hit like Remembrance and then be awkward. Okay, I'm not as happy about that. I was like envisioning in my brain making these really sweet plays to where like we dropped a Remembrance for 0 and then just got 6 mana back for our efforts, but that's not the way the game works. Well, that didn't do anything. Dang it, Maokai. I played the Maokai because I thought he was going to ace our opponent's deck. And then that is not what happened. Oops. Yeah, I don't know how good I feel about this anymore. Well, I feel better if he's invoking into stuns, but my game plan here just completely did not work. Okay, so we'll drop down Vilemaw. And then next turn, we should ideally be able to get both a Lux and a Remembrance and then just churn off a bunch of stuff. Right, we're going to play Lux. She's going to count as free. We'll get to play the Remembrance. We'll get all of our mana back for it. I think this is just going to be hopefully, a big blowout turn. Is it reasonable to say that we should probably just go ahead and play this other Remembrance, even though it is a 6-cost spell? Like, what else are we doing with this turn? Like, I'm happy enough for next turn to, like, Golden Aegis the Scout unit and then get the kind of free rally after that, and then we'll get the rally from the Remembrance. That seems fine. It's just I worry a little bit with him getting to keep Targon's Peaks on the board. I'm just going to go with the unit. Okay, take our scout attack. Now we could fit another unit on the board. Sure, Mage Seeker. You seem, it's odd to say that you seem a little bit better than Pantheon, but that is the case. Oh, okay, we're one short. I thought a little bit earlier it would be nice to play the 4 Demacia, but we were 1 mana short of playing the Vanguard Sergeant. Okay. So let's go ahead and bring in the squad real quick. This should set us up to starting to get good final sparks. And then we can look to rally as well.
A beacon through the dark.
Soldiers, to me!
All right, now let's bring those booms on in. You can't outrun justice, bruh. GG, Arbiter of the Peak.
Did we win?
All right, what do we got? More Cosmic Bindings? Nah, I guess. I'm not super interested in any of these. Like, Meduli is just way too slow. We already have enough big dudes. Thermogenic Beam is probably the take. Give us some interactivity here. Not bad having the draw attached to it, but it was a fairly weak Chime card. Summon a Progress Day costed unit. Alright, I'm up for the big booms. That's hard to get me away from. What's the power? Fury thing with dragons, not that exciting. Minimorph is good. It's a nice 6-cost spell. Lets us really have an additional way to deal with Viego. He's kind of a problem. You know, we do have to pop the spell shields first, but I think I'm happy with this as a 6-cost spell. Let's take the full 3 copies. It has a health potion attached to it as well to give us a bit of resilience. These others I'm not particularly interested in. It is weird seeing Draw Champion attached to Stand Alone when we have like 15 champions in our deck, but I think we can let that one be. Okay, then what do we got here? The Grand Plaza or a shop? Let's just head towards the Grand Plaza. We can handle this Fleet Feather Tracker one easily enough. So when the foe gets the attack token, they summon Fleet Feather Tracker. You're welcome to challenge all my barriered units. Okay, so it is tempting to keep this beam. I think that's okay. You know, if we're going to play it and then just immediately get our mana back for it, it's not that bad of a deal. I'm in. Beam it. Right into a 2-drop. Not bad. Not bad, game. He's not gonna force the blocks upon us. I appreciate that. It's like you see the Katarina and then just have to immediately think if you can OTK. we don't have the OTKs with this deck, but you have to stop and think about it. Ugh. Alright. Not a bad shutdown, dude. And so what I'm looking towards here is I'm just going to play the Vanguard Sergeant this turn. Looks like we're about to get blasted by elusives, but I want to bank this 1 mana going into next turn. And then we're going to play Lux, get all of our manas back, and then we'll be able to start chaining off the 6-cost spells. Looking like a redoubled Valor at this point, but we'll see what turns up. Rek'Sai? Interesting.
We can do this. Wait, you know what?
Hi, Jinx. This is just the damages you were always hoping you could do. Let's bring some booms. So what else do we want to drop here? We're probably just going to be using a combination of Katarina and Golden Aegis. So let's just drop Rek'Sai. Oh, I expected her to have 10 attack. It's okay. It's okay. We're not going to run into any problems here. Okay. It's like a good spot to start dropping final sparks. Protect our squad just a little bit. I don't think we want to for Demacia. Maybe we do. It gets us in kind of the same spot. Like if we're playing Katarina, we just don't have any way to use that last spell mana. So let's go for the style points. We got plenty of damage here with the Golden Aegis in hand. Get ripped, my dude. Neg 29 coming through. Alright, so it's unfortunate we had to take that bit of an elusive hit, but otherwise we handled that one pretty easily. What you got? A +1 thermogenic beam? I'm leaning towards just picking up more Mage Seeker Persuaders. Like, I feel like the way we'll end up losing these games is if we don't hit in our early game. And he's a pretty reasonable choice. Now, you do have to, like, stop and think with the Cataclysm. We have the Overwhelm passive power, and you do overwhelm damage through Cataclysms. But I think it's, like, reasonable enough to let it go and just take the safe choice here in the Persuader. Okay, on to the Grand Plaza. Add a challenger unit. Add a challenger to a unit from your deck. Or that's the train piece. The recruit piece. Add 4 copies of Dauntless Vanguard to your deck with a random item. No. Pay respects. What's this? So many choices. Add Remembrance, For the Fallen, or Dawn Speakers to your deck with a random item. Ooh, Adding Remembrance is pretty good. I think that's the way that we want to go about this. I don't care about putting Challenger on these units. Like, it's not adding copies of these champions to our deck. So let's pick up the Remembrance. Cool. On to the healer. We should probably just heal here. We don't have too much worth cutting at this point. We've managed to dodge the trash pretty well. So I'm going to heal before we fight Viego. And on to the big champion battle. Okay, so we're not keeping progress day. Jin, kind of a turd, right? He fits in the curve okay, but we're not playing too many, like we're not playing any stuns at all. I don't feel like he's gonna really do a lot this game. Let's go ahead and get him out of here. Kind of just want that progress day back. I know it's awful greedy, but man, it seems like a power play. Oh, if you aren't familiar with Viego, the foe summons an ephemeral copy of the player that's us's strongest follower that died last round. So if our Mage Seeker Persuader would die this turn, he'd get a copy of it next turn. Okay, protect ourselves a little bit. I do like this big turn 5 build-up that we have with Lux plus a spell mana. We're definitely going to look to be doing that next turn. So we probably just need to get any unit on board, and we'll be pretty okay. Senna's fine. Not going to be doing much with these darknesses, but maybe we actually do just play the Vanguard Sergeant. Get access to our 4 Demacia right away. We can play 4 Demacia instead of Redoubled Valor. I kind of dig it. So I guess we can play both, actually. Right? We can play Lux. She gives us all the mana back. Then we can play 4 Demacia. Then we can play Redoubled Valor. Okay. Probably just OTK him this turn. That wasn't very nice.
Let the light guide you.
Do we still just go for it here? Like, we can take this damage, not a big deal. I mean, our other option, he does have this, like, we have the Cosmic Binding plus Minimorph into Viego if we want. So we can just get rid of him permanently. But I'm feeling like this is a decent turn just to pop off with the spells. He will... Oh, he'll get at least an Encroaching Mist back off the tomb. Okay. I'm gonna pop off. It does give us a bunch of final sparks to throw at Viego as well.
I've been hiding my light too long.
Alright, Lux, it's time for you to bring the big attacks.
By the light.
Gonna clear out some of these blockers. I'm pretty sure we're good to go here, right? We've got 45 damage coming in from Lux. He's only gonna have 13 health, and so we can punch in this extra damage. Oh, we're only getting 2 attacks here, though, right? Not just 3. I was thinking we were getting 3 attacks here. We'll be okay. I assure you, everything is fine. My dude takes 15. Gotta block now, my dude. He is going to get his Viego back through the Haunted Tomb, but I think this is fine. We've got a Minimorph if we need to. Drop him to 1. What a scary place to be. But I think we're fine between having the cosmic bindings and the mini morphs. We should be able to get a kill with a final spark somewhere. Get that. It's something annoying. Yeah. That's okay. So let's see. Let's do 2 to the mini T. We're going to stun the guy in front of our overwhelm. We're going to get in for 3 now. Then we should be able to final spark this mini T out of the game. And get the W, if you will. Ah, he's playing around the sparks, huh? Oh, aren't you clever? Aren't you clever? All right, let's see how this goes. This is a little worrisome. I'm curious if the AI can read into what's about to happen. All right, so we're not gonna have enough for lethal here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Are we gonna be okay, guys? Are we gonna be okay? Okay, we can play Senna and still have mini morph mana. Rip Senna.
Getting dark.
All right, this is getting a little closer than I wanted. we gotta draw something good. He's about to have this big Viego come down next turn.
Protect me. I do this for her. For us.
All right, let's see where this gets us. Pretty close, I'm sure. Vengeance onto dude. He's only got 2 mana back. Oh, that thing's huge. It's a huge encroaching mist. Fuck.
Track them down. Nothing.
Alright, let's pick up the spell and see what happens. True Shot Barrage, am I right? Can we just wait on this thing? Let's just wait, see if we pick up something interesting. He's going to get to steal a unit here, but we can still block his Viego. This is... make a mouth noise or two. Okay. Let's see. Can't just block old Dum Dum over here. Get fairly close to lethal. He only has 1 mana at this point, so I think we should be okay. Ruinous Path. It's a drain. If you slay, you get to deal 2 damage. That could be useful. I don't think we need Rummage here. It's probably better than the Ancient Hourglass, though. Caught in the Cold. Perfect. Okay. We just picked up all the tools that we needed. We can now say, like, Caught in the Cold this Vanguard Sergeant. and then kill with the Ruinous Path. Or, I mean, we have the other options would be just to do like a million rallies with our dude. Could punch in 1 through the Dragon and 2 through the Vanguard Sergeant, but that's not as many style points. Not nearly as many. Ooh, I thought we were gonna punt that one. That was pretty close. GG, Viego. Okay, moving on. Give me that full heal. Let's see what else we can do. I guess we're just going to keep picking up copies of Lux. I guess the +2 attack isn't terrible since we have the Strike Sword attached to her. Seems more reasonable than Spell Shield. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough passing up on Spell Shields at any time, but... Oh, we got another Legendary. Add a random item to each card in your deck for this game. Sure. So we get all the champions. We give them all items. Sounds good to me. I'm gonna head up to this epic spells chest. It's this: when the foe attacks, they summon an attacking frenzied skitterer. Okay. God, what a deck! So many legendaries. All right. Well, I guess Lux picked up the -2 cost legendary. That's not bad. That's not bad. It is kind of interesting that she is like slightly worse and that she plays for free with the epic thing, but we refill the 3 spell mana, so we should be able to play Lux on turn 3, and then get the full spell mana, and then immediately follow up with Remembrance. It's going to be pretty choice.
My shield is yours.
What's that noise?
Oh.
I'll stop you.
Oh, man. That's a lot of damage coming at us. I wanted to get some better blocks in there. Okay. Sad noise.
We can do this.
Alright, so there's the Lux, there's the Strike. We get the 6 mana after we play her. That's pretty sweet. Remembrance will be our first spell for the turn. That's going to give us 6 mana back. After we play Remembrance, I am going to look to play that Mini-Morph so that we can gain 6 health, and then see where we stand in terms of ending this game. Okay, let's do this. Let's Mini-Morph the big one. And we'll just Final Spark both of them. And this one will be good and done.
By the light.
Not a bad turn, eh? Not a bad turn.
Denounce magic.
Strike.
Uh-oh, he's doing stuff. Bringing out the Vile Feast. Oh my goodness. He almost boomed us. Got him. Nice. Whew. What a combo. That's pretty strong. We won't get that every game, right? We got lucky with that Lux item hitting, but it's pretty sweet to see that come together. Anything cool here? I'm usually not amped about reducing the cost on Succession, but maybe it's okay. Then there's the Demacian Tellstones is what... Like, it's awkward with our deck since you have to play the Tellstones to get the item, and then all of our spell things have already happened by then, but the versatility here is pretty strong. That's a tough one. Our only removals at this point aren't that great. Maybe we have to pick up the Tellstones just to make sure we have a removal. Alright, into the spells chest. Shadow Flare. Shadow Flare is like always pretty tempting up against these big champion rounds, but summon a random champion of my cost out of the Inspiring Light. There's some good ones at 2. I think we'll just take the Golden Aegis, though. Well, it's like, do we ever really need them? We're so easily generating them. I'm going to take the Inspiring Light. Just another cheap play. Champion item or a shop? Let's go to the shop. We got a ton of mana. Or a ton of money. Just take Fixer Upper because it's cheap. As far as these other cards go, back to back would normally be okay, but at a -1 cost, I don't really want it. The Shunpo with this rally effect is kind of interesting, and then the Iceborne Gauntlet with the flight with the Iceborne Gauntlet's kind of interesting as well. Getting that kind of like cycle capture thing happening. Just like taking their best unit for a turn or whatnot. It's kind of interesting, like trying to cycle it away and then get their best unit a little bit later. I don't know, that sounds like a lot of work. Alright, I'm going to skip over that one. Here, I think we can handle the Nightfall guy pretty easily. Starting with 2 Dawn Speakers. They do have a lot of potential to just overwhelm. Okay, I'm gonna take the Nightfall guy. It's a Nightfall, summon additional copy of your units. So very easy for them to get a really wide board. Okay, hang on to our 2/2 drops just to make sure we have something to put down. See how it goes. Not super interested in this can't block Nami. I'll tell you that for certain.
Their guilt is evident. My cause is righteous. Oh, hello there.
Alright, dude's about to get wide. And I am glad seeing him kind of spewing units off on our turn, though, because he can't attack with them. Ooh. Spending mana on things that aren't units? What's this Yasuo item? Reduce my cost by the cost of your most expensive allied champion. We'll wait a turn on him, I guess. We're gonna take a bit of damage this way, but you're gonna take a lot of damage this way. Neg 16, brutal. At least we can land fairly hard on board. It's like the happiest I've ever been to be playing a Bard just to get our Yasuo down for free. Ew.
Sleep for the guiltless.
Okay. This was a little scarier than I wanted. We can lead out with the Cosmic Binding just to like recover the spell mana, but we're not going to have time for that. We have to just go with the Succession for now. So we should just be taking like 5 damage this turn. That's better than dead. Okay, so 2 damage to an enemy. Sure. Stun this 8. Look at all these 6s and 9s out here. Pretty nice, am I right? Pretty nice. Okay, take 6. Hopefully we can close on our turn.
The sun is shining.
Lux just seems way better than Anivia. Well, I guess we get to play them all, right?
Forever watchful.
For justice and all things bright.
Okay. Get those damages in, please. It's kind of manifest. What's going on here? I guess we'll take this Grizzled Ranger. What is happening? We losing units? Why are we losing units? I thought... Oh, here's the barrier. Okay. I just hadn't played the barrier yet. I picked it, and then I got the manifest, and that's where I got confused. But we should be okay now. I think I figured it out. Come in for a big hit. He shouldn't... Well, I guess it depends on if he blocks. Like... he's going to get the unit in his hand, and then he can Nightfall, and then he can Ephemeral. That's kind of painful. We might actually get lethal seeing it come down like this. Well, if he's going to play his card now, we don't have to worry about it. But that was fairly scary if he's going to be bringing back a bunch of Shark Chariots and stuff. Damn. I don't think we're dead. Stops? You could have played more units, dude. What are you doing?
Never back down from what you believe.
Alright. Well, if that's how you want to do it. Yeah, you should be face palming there, bro. Oh, the guy costs 4. Okay. I was like, what are you doing, guy? Okay, so we got out of this, but man, we are seriously damaged. We're going to need some good draws against Galio to try and push through this one. Maybe we should have gone Dawn Speakers. I know that deck can really come out at us, but I felt like we had like opportunities to get out in front of that. Damn. What do we got? Shock Blast. It costs 6, but it's got the reducer thing attached to it. I'm just going to go with more Vanguard Sergeants. Over here, gonna take a heal, please. And on to Galio. What are you doing this one? Game start, opponent summons the Grand Plaza, and then the Galio thing. He's got 20 health on board at round end. He summons a Galio. Alright, what are we doing with this? Not a bad collection of champions. What's this on Karma? When I'm summoned, create a fleeting copy of me in hand, whatever. Renekton with the Phage, just out here being a big boy. I can appreciate that. Into Redoubled Valor. Okay. Man, it's a pretty healthy chunk of damage you can send in. If you're going to be putting Redoubled Valors onto Renekton. He's the biggest of boys. Okay, the Shyvana version. Okay. I'm on board. Again, one of these slightly awkward spots. I'd like to get a bit of something going with the mana, but I feel like we can pretty reasonably expect to build up one of these just big OTK turns with Renekton plus the rallies. This? Oh, our weakest ally getting is like, why are our dudes keep growing? Gotcha. Kind of want to save the Bright Steel for next turn. Alright, let's go in. It's not a horrible spot to just bank all of the mana. Let's see what he gives us a chance to do here. He's not at lethal. I guess this stupid pillar will go away now. Our spells go back to costing 6. Lux makes an appearance. Ooh. Don't mind if I do. Are we able to play a spell before we drop Lux, though? Not really. Okay.
We can do this.
Wow, and he just stopped? Huh. Well, I'm going for the memes here, so let's get this redoubled valor down. Oh man, shit's about to get real. Who's trying to come down? Bard? It's not happening. Not happening this turn, dude. 2 and a stun. Why do you keep being cheaper? Oh, when you play a spell, reduce my cost by 1. Okay. I guess.
I've got your back.
Cut him down, Varg. Just takes it? Oh, man. The balls. The balls on Galio out here.
Beacon through the dark.
Alright, well, I'm going to open, and then if we need to follow up... Oh, this one's done. This one's done. Get out of here. Alright, Confront's not going to do it, dude. Okay. Alright. Galio has fallen. GG, my dude. The 2020 Renekton's showing him how to put in the work. So not bad, not bad. And so, yeah, I mean, this wasn't... It wasn't the greatest of Lux runs, right? You know, we started off with the Legendary that just shuffles 10 items into your deck, so it's not like your standard Lux run by any means, but I thought we managed to deal with it well in terms of recognizing the things that are important for Lux and that you have to have a good early game, and then you need some amount of ways to be casting those 6-cost spells so that you get to pick up the rallies over and over again. And that's essentially all that we added to our deck throughout the course of the adventure, right? We picked up a bunch of those really cheap dudes, those like the 2-cost Mage Seeker guys, and then we went out of our way to pick up a bunch of 6-cost spells between the Many-Morph, the Redoubled Valor, the Progress Day. Cosmic Binding doesn't quite count, but that's exactly what we're adding. Nothing mid-rangey, just stuff in the early game, stuff in the late game, and then making sure that we have removal spells. You never drew this Flash of Brilliance. Man, I was ready for that thing to pop off. It just didn't happen. But I feel like even though we did have this random big legendary run with the legendary shuffle the champions in, then the legendary put items on everything, I think we hit off on a lot of the good Lux concepts that'll help you get victory over Galio. But that is going to do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. You have yourselves a good one out there.